Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Coalition League stream where we're watching C2 versus DovN Nightfall. My name is Furball, and I'm joined today by a familiar face, random minion caster. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to watch this game.
Absolutely. And we got today we have XS Wolf playing Shen in the top lane, Mohawk Gaming playing Sejuani in the jungle, Wild Goose Chase playing Echo in the mid lane, Kraken, she is playing Ashe in the as ADC, and then Spenlaw playing support. Going against in the top lane, a Lord of Aces is playing Mordekaiser top lane. We have a Jarvan the Fourth in the jungle under the Gunneth 79. Phantom X playing Vel'Koz in the mid lane. ADC Poison Lynch, as well as Weeb Hippo, Web Hippo,
Web Hippo, I believe, yeah.
Web Hippo in as the support as Morgana.
Yeah, so familiar faces on the side of DOV Nightfall, and the picks are pretty standard picks for DOV Nightfall. Unfortunately, we did not get to see the picks and bans, so we don't know if Phantom X was banned out. Vel'Koz is one of the fallback champions he plays. Everything else pretty standard for them.
Absolutely. It looks like we're getting a Shen going over a little bit of a ward. Gonna get caught out by the Vel'Koz here, but he's gonna get that ward down, be able to spot a little bit, see what he can see.
Yeah, and
They know
actually, a
about it.
little surprising, C2 is the one doing that. DOV usually the one to get the early aggressive level 1 ward in the enemy jungle, so good on C2 that they get that. I'm not sure it's spot much on that.
Absolutely. It looks like we're just gonna get a standard start on the bot side of the map, trying to path up toward that top side, trying to maybe help their top lane is get a little bit of an edge in that early game.
Yeah, and on the side of C2 here, their draft also, nothing surprising. Going with a lot of that team fight potential there. They've got the Sejuani with the Glacial Prison. Again, Kyraken, she's on the Ashe that she performed so well on last game, so will be probably a similar thing where they get a good AoE and a good engage followed by AoE wombo combo. And they've got Shen with his Stand United there, so we'll be able to have that split push. Bot lane though, Gun.
Absolutely. It looks like we're actually getting a Jake from J4, early level 2. Very strong level 2. Gets a flash out from Kraken, and she's going to walk out. Really good flash by Kraken to dodge that EQ combo from the Jarvan. It actually gets a little bit of follow-up damage onto the Tristana. Here is the Mordekaiser going straight into the Shen with his Q fully stacked passive, burning that the Shen down in that trade. And here comes another EQ from the Jarvan, and a heal comes up for Kraken to prevent for a possible kill. And they're going to do a lot of damage with the follow-up. Here comes the Ignite from the Thresh, and they're going to finish him off.
Yeah, I think a little hasty there from Gunt in the bot lane, that flash, flag, and drag to try and reinitiate. But his bot lane wasn't in position to follow up, so he ends up serving himself up on a silver platter. And we see what happens when C2 gets an early lead like that. They can absolutely run away with it. And of course, you know, like that's not a good thing for the side of the DovN.
And actually, it looks like the Sejuani is going to be trying to take away the red here, but Jar's War is a little bit up to the ruse here. And Alexa, we're going to get an engage from the Thresh, who's going to flash play, misses the play, and even though it has the red, and it just gets traded back from the Morgana Dark Binding. Easy follow-up kill from the bot lane, evening it out.
And again, another really aggressive flash coming out of for an engage that wasn't really necessary. Spenlaw ends up dying for no reason.
Tristana's actually going to jump in here with the bomb, get 2 procs, 3 procs. He's going to detonate right here, and an easy kill for the Tristana. Just blows Ashe up.
Yeah, really good from the bot lane here of DOV Nightfall. They know exactly how much damage they can put out there. Did manage to take down the bot lane. Spenlow and Kyraken both going to go down, and both kills did go over to Web Hippo, and that's not unexpected. Web Hippo, one of the better laning supports in the league, and we've seen this happen a lot, but mid lane.
J4 coming in for the Wild Goose Chase. He's going to use his W to get the shield, trying to back out. Vel'Koz gets the knock up, and he's just able to walk right out from that stun on the Jarvan.
Yeah, Gunth getting a lot of pressure on the map, but going down back to Web Hippo there. Web Hippo known to be able to get early leads, his signature Swain, and now on the Morgana as well, so
J4 smiting away the Raptors. He's going to be caught out by the Wild Goose Chase and the Sejuani. He has no recourse to get out of there, and he's just going to be gone. Flash blown earlier, very important in the bot lane. And as Sejuani's going to be looking for the Vel'Koz and just not going to find anything.
And again, Gunth, I'm not sure what on earth. He's getting really aggressive right now for trying to get those things. Jarvan is really one of
It actually looks like the Mordekaiser is actually going straight into the Shen, who's trying to fight him. He doesn't have any support. I don't know why he was trying to fight him inside of his passive is the thing, and he's just going to get burned down, has to blow the flash to get out.
Yeah, and I mean, that's good though for the side of DOV Nightfall. They need wins somewhere right now because Gunth looking like he's inching a little bit. And now he's getting caught up by Mohawk again.
Absolutely, he's Mohawk is a level up again on Gunth, and he's just gonna do max health damage with his heat passive. Morgana's gonna get the binding though, and he's just gonna be able to walk right out of there with the Thresh Lantern. But it looks like he wants to stay a little bit, maybe contest for this Gromp here. He knows the Jarvan's low, but the Thresh Lantern's gonna the Thresh Hook's gonna land onto the Tristana, and she's gonna have to flash out to get out. She's super low, but here is J4 to back them up. But he was zoned out by the Sejuani in the bot river or bot jungle. It looks like we also have Echo here trying to going onto the Vel'Koz, getting his 3-hit passive, and he has no mana to even contest anything on the wave. Tristana staying here very, very low in the bot wave.
Yeah, lots of action there. And what we're seeing in the jungle here is literally what we just saw last game for C2 against Vengeful Reapers. Mohawk Gaming getting an early lead, knowing how to push it. Now bot lane though.
Here's a Dark binding onto the Ashe. She's going to respond with Q damage. Ignite, but the Dark... Ugh. Oh my, and then here comes the Ashe, dead. Here comes jump for the Tristana. She's gonna get a double kill. Really surprising from the first beginning of that play. You thought the Thresh was gonna be able to get a good dive onto them, but Wild Goose Chase here to clear up the Morgana, but the Sejuani's gonna jump in here and just get blown up from the Tristana. That's a triple kill from Tristana, able to turn around 2 plays that otherwise looked extremely against them in the bot lane.
Yeah, that's absolutely massive. You're starting to feed that Tristana, and when a Tristana gets ahead, it becomes an absolute problem. She's great at taking turrets. She's got a really good early game damage, and in fact, Tristana usually has a bit of a dip in the mid game where her damage is no longer as high and her range hasn't quite made her that safe, super ranged, steroided up ADC yet. So
it looks like the Echo's going to be going on to the Vel'Koz here, who's going to be super low. And it looks like he's going to try to be flashing out over the wall. No follow-up from the Echo, but he actually does have the E back, and he's just going to walk the Vel'Koz down. A little bit more move speed from the Echo being a melee champion, and just seals the deal on the Vel'Koz.
Yeah, Phantom X a bit too far up there, and he ended up tanking a turret shot. That really hurt him a lot because of that being that low. He should have based out earlier. He didn't even get much off. He didn't even get the plate on the mid lane. So yeah, greed coming out on the side of DovN Nightfall. I feel like I've been saying that a lot this game, but all their players there just seem to be subscribing to that play style. But that being said, the bot lane here is going to be the focus for DovN Nightfall most likely, because that Tristana, as I was saying before all that action happened, if she gets ahead, she can 1v5 the entirety of C2 there. She's got a lot of self-heal, and Web Hippo has been on point with those Dark Bindings and Black Shields. Absolutely.
Well, I was just going to clear out mid wave and allowing Wild Goose Chase to kind of look for a roam, but he's going to get a back off instead. And it looks like J4 is just kind of clearing stuff out in river. Morgana kind of teasing around here in bot side. And actually, you know, we were talking about a little bit of greed. You know, a lot of what happened here in bot lane resulted, you know, Tristana was being greedy. She stayed super low in the lane. And then when the dive happened, they basically tricked them into giving up 3 kills.
Yeah, and that was a lot of that was on Web Hippo. Amazing Dark Bindings catching Mohawk under the turret. The Black Shield to keep Poison Lynch alive. And the, we didn't talk about it, but the stopwatch actually was amazing bait for Mordekaiser.
Absolutely. And Mordekaiser coming in on the Shen here. Probably nothing going to happen from it. He's a little bit too close to tower for him to happen anything, but he is getting a lot of damage on the Mordekaiser, who's had to have to back up a little bit and trying to regen up health.
Yeah, one of the nasty things about facing the Mordekaiser, even when he looks like he's low on health, it's not really accurate.
Absolutely, and we're going to get a flash out from the Thresh and a W from the Tristana, who's just going to go in, make Spindle have to blow his flash. Gets a little scared there.
Yeah, and that's actually really bad news for that bot lane there, because we've already seen how strong they are, and Gunth is going to be looking to get some ganks down there as well. So without having a flash means Spindle might die the next gank they see.
Absolutely. It's really dangerous, especially with Gunth being so aggressive, but it looks like actually C2 is going to actually end up picking up this Cloud Drake after they strategically sneak it under the red vision in mid river. And Ashe is going to poke a little bit and walk right out.
Yeah, and I mean, it was really well played on the side of C2. They actually avoided the vision there from the scuttle by going through the walls instead. So I suspect DovN Nightfall had a suspicion, but they weren't sure enough to actually contest it, and Gunth ended up taking his blue instead rather than going straight over to contest that Drake, despite having a strong bot lane.
Absolutely. Looks like we're back to a holding pattern here. And the Dark Bindings are just nailing this Ashe with the Dark Bindings. Tristana's actually going to W onto her, trying to get that bomb on her. blows up. She's very, very low, and Thresh is getting low too, and this is going to seal the deal with the Dark Binding. The Dark Bindings never miss. This man is a god.
Definitely reputable, on point. You know, all season we've been talking about how good his Swain is, but his Morg right now is also incredibly clean. I mean, as any ADC, this is your dream support. He's doing all the work for you, and it's showing now because Tristana up 4-0 and 3, and Webhippo managed to pick up himself quite a bit of kills as well. 3-0 and 4. They're up a ton of gold there. More than 1,000 for both of them over their lane counterparts, and they will be getting a ton of plate gold here as well.
It's insane. The man just can't miss. He hits a Dark Binding onto the Ashe, and then kills the Thresh with the Dark Binding, and then kills the Ashe again with another Dark Binding. The man just is a sniper, and he's playing a League of Legends game.
Yeah, he probably plays Valorant on the side as well, but for now in this game, we'll have to see if Kyra and Spenlo can get themselves back in here, because right now they are bleeding out in that bot lane. Saraken doing a very good job keeping herself pretty even in terms of CS, but they're losing pressure completely in that bot lane, and Tristana will outskill an Ashe as well. But it looks like C2 gonna change the focus up here.
We're start up the Rift here. Trying to get a little bit more pressure on that top side. Shen been holding very, very steady. Usually don't want to be playing towards the Shen lane, because typically want to be playing away from it so he can TP to another lane. But Gun's going to be a little, he's going to get the ruse up here with the control ward. He's going to be seeing if he can maybe steal it. Looking a little bit, but he might be caught off a little bit unawares with the 3 people, and they're going to go on to the Vel'Koz. While Goose Chase is just going to run him down. Gun's going to be trying to help out his teammate. And here comes out the Vel'Koz ult. Echo's gonna ult as well to get that health back. But Guns does not have the EQ combo, and actually Sejuani's getting super low from the Mordekaiser, who's gonna actually chase into the jungle, looking for the Shen, but draws out the Shen ult. He's gonna back away, gets his passive proc. He's gonna be looking for the Sejuani. She's super low, but the Shen taunt's gonna keep his teammate alive, and then Shen's gonna be going onto the J4, just finishing him off, as well as Wild Goose Chase is coming from the side and obliterating that Vel'Koz.
My goodness, I'm trying to decide whether C2 killed DOV harder or whether they're killing you harder. You could not even catch a breath in that fight there. But yeah, plenty of action in the top lane. It's not over yet.
Absolutely. And it looks like the Tristana's going to go a little bit risky under turret. Black Shield comes out on the Tristana, and the Thresh is going to take way too much damage too. And the Dark Binding. We've been talking about it all game, and Tristana's going to do a bunch. Jump in, take 2 tower shots, and not get an auto off. That's a little bit of a misplay there. Here comes the dark Binding possibly, but nope. The stopwatch play once again, just bamboozling the C2, and Sejuani's going to come clear up that really fed Tristana.
And that was so unfortunate. The rocket jump getting interrupted by the knock-up just barely from Mohawk. If not, Poison Lynch might potentially have been able to get out alive, because the Glacial Prison is still down for the side of Mohawk Gaming. But yeah, that is a massive bounty going over to Mohawk Gaming, and Mohawk right now the biggest lead for C2 here, and will need to focus a lot more into that bot lane.
Absolutely, and we talked about it a little bit last game, but Mohawk is just a superstar for this roster. He's always kind of where he needs to be, and he's always able to get really good farm numbers on just standard tank jungle. He's a really impactful player.
Yeah, and so far he's been also being able to focus those objectives down really well for his team. So despite being down gold and kills, C2 is up in terms of major neutral objectives. The Eye of the Herald is still on to Mohawk there, so they might drop it and get quite a few plates. We'll have to see where he decides to put it.
And Guns might be caught off a little bit out of position here. He's kind of wandering towards a lot of people, and Echo's kind of walking kind of bot river, but he's linked up with Morgana, so he's going to be a little safer. Dropping Rift Hero mid, trying to get a couple plates off, but it looks like he just walks into... Morgana's actually the one who's walking into the Echo, and she's just going to get blown the heck up. Knockout from the Vel'Koz like to live a little bit longer, and then here's the J4 ult. Ashe ult completely misses, and they're just going to blow up J4. He's burning down, and it just seems like a really awkward fight there from Vengeful Gaming, or not, rather, DOV Nightfall.
So, yeah, and we saw this in the last fight too. As you said, the word to describe the fights right now are awkward. Both teams not really having enough focus at first to take one person out of the fight right away, and so the fights become really extended as they go on. And because of the mobility coming out from the side of C2, with the Shen, with the Sejuani, with the Echo, they're able to reposition themselves into better better repositions and re-engages there. And it's showing right now as they managed to pick up the second Drake of the game for themselves. The Drake this time not sneaking it, but just from the numbers advantage they got from winning that fight. So if you're DovN Nightfall right now, you need to sort of switch up the mentality. Either you all in these fights and really start trying to get those fights with everybody committed, or you choose to continue focusing on the laning phase, extending the laning phase, particularly in that bot lane.
Yeah, and you could really tell that Morgana didn't even look like she was like prepared to be alive. And that when she face checked that bush, she was like, oh, I'm kind of living here. You know, they weren't able to get all that damage onto her so quickly. I mean, surely the Dark Shield helped, but it just seems strange that they weren't able to, you know, collapse as quickly as you think a team would be able to do with that many members.
Yeah, she also didn't have a lot of her spells available. But
and the Dark Binding goes through the E, and Tristana just looks like she's going to blow up the Echo. Not quite enough damage, and he does have that ult just in case he gets a little bit too low.
I mean, that's all they really needed to do. Now, Wild Goose Chase is going to not be able to defend that turret effectively. He's so low that if he gets misstepped for a little bit, he's going to die.
And it looks like J4 is going to EQ in, but the stopwatch is going to prevent a Q onto him. But Mordecai is going to get poked out by the Ashe. They're slow. They're going to be having a long walk down the lane, but it looks like Gunth is not going to make it out. EQ tried to get out, and then the Q onto the Mordecai is just going to finish it off. Tristana finds that turret mid, though, as a little bit of a trade back to DovN Nightfall.
And that's huge for Syraken. She needed that goal to get herself back into the game. She wasn't able to lane against Poison Lynch and Web Biffle, but now at least she's going to be a little more even, a little bit more caught up in gold there.
Absolutely. And Shen is actually on the opposite of Mike, trying to lane against the Vel'Koz here. She's going to clear out the minions and try to walk. It takes a little bit too many tower shots there, and he's taking a lot of damage from this Vel'Koz. But he's able to taunt onto the Vel'Koz, and he's actually just going to blow her up from the percentage health damage on his Titanic Hydra. And Morgana's just hitting the Dark Bindings, but the 2v2 has returned, and Shen keeps his teammate alive into the 2v2. Wow.
Yeah, and that's the strength of the Shen. You saw him just turn around and kill Phantom X in the bot lane. Next one, he's top lane, keeping Spenlow alive. That's absolutely massive, but it ain't over yet.
Gun's trying to make a little something a little bit happen, trying to keep them under turret. You know, that's the wrong member to be under turret, and he's going to get queued and just taken out of his ult. That's a little bit, you know, death quarrels, you know, couldn't quite help his turret out.
Yeah, that was a really risky thing. He's lucky that they didn't decide to just tank that. That's a whole bunch of tanks there. Thresh, Sejuani, and Shen, all of them can survive under turret. If they juggled that properly, they could have just dove him. So good that he got out alive, but he did lose that turret, so they're going to be even in terms of turrets here. What I was saying before that fight went down there, you know, Shen has a lot of presence across the map, and you can see how much damage he does with the Titanic Hydra. Phantom X was just 100 to 0 there in one quick exchange, so people do have to be careful of running against that Shen, and even Morgan will have to be careful.
Absolutely, and Morgana's just hitting another Dark Binding onto the Sejuani, making sure she can't help with the thing. And Mordecai's actually going to 2v1ing on top, and he's going to ult Syraken, trying to get her super low. Actually follows up and kills her, but Goose is going to clean up for his teammate. Vengeance for the Ashe, and they're just going to clean up Sejuani here from a Vel'Koz ult, and also well as get the Rift Herald.
Yeah, and that Rift Herald is going to be really good for the side of DovN Nightfall right now. They do need to try and take some turrets down. They're going to drop it right away into the mid lane, and I'm not sure that's necessarily the best choice, but if they can get the turret, it's definitely worth it. And Tristana shred turrets real quick.
Under turret, it's going to be a 3v3, and they're actually just going to get one here. And it's actually, Shen and Echo are quite not to the fight. They might be able to continue here because they're not here to help, but Ashe comes back up online, uses Home Guards to get back to lane, so she's able to help out. Wild Goose Chase kind of poking out the Tristana here, but nothing to really come of it.
Yeah, it would have been risky to follow up. There was the Black Shield still available from Morgana, this gun nearby, and Poison Lynch is still super fed. It already has the Infinity Edge and Runan's completed.
Absolutely. And looks like Echo's going to be going onto the Vel'Koz here. He's just being constantly caught out of position against the C2 team. He's going to try to get away from him, but it's an inevitable fall. And actually, Morgana's getting queued herself, but the Black Shield's able to save her. Tristana's here to help her buddy, but he's going to get ulted and just get killed immediately. Dark Binding on from the Morgana, and then ult from Jarvan. Going to be trying to deal enough damage to that Ashe, but the Shen ult's going to come out, and she's just not going to be going anywhere. Morgana's going to try to walk away, but Sejuani's just got too much sticking power. She's going to E onto there, and then the flash comes out from the Morgana, and they're going to try to be killing the Sejuani from the Mord, but he's going to be in way over his head, a 2v1 against himself. Now Morgana's dead from the Shen, and he's just going to keep following. Percentage max health damage on that Shen means might be able to take this Mordekaiser, but he decides not to. He's just going to take the dragon instead.
Yeah, and that's becoming a problem for DovN Nightfall, that they can't burst their targets down fast enough. Syraken living through that, Wild Goose Chase living through that. You know, if you can't kill the squishy targets fast enough, you're gonna have problems. And Syraken on that Ashe, showing why Ashe is so powerful. Really, you can't run away from her at all. Once she's on you, she sticks on you, and it allows the entire team to engage on you as well.
Absolutely, and that ult was so beautiful, feeding it into the Tristana, and it looks like Wild Goose Chase maybe bit off a little more than he can chew here. Trying to run away from the Mordekaiser, trying to wait out his ult and get the heck out of there. And the Thresh Lantern maybe not even needed here, though it was available.
Yeah, I think Lord of Ace is a little overzealous on that. Dragging him to the Death Realm really early actually meant that the Ace couldn't put out damage, and so Wild Goose Chase could just sort of hop over a wall and wait it out, and that will keep him alive, which is really good for him. And you know, C2 has an amazing teamfight composition, but again, we're not seeing
And
it.
Ashel just gets nailed on the Jarvan. The Sejuani here to follow up. He's dead to rights. He just can't. Some money Ashel there, and it looks like Shen's just going to be killing the Vel'Koz, you know, story of our lives here. But he's actually just gonna get knocked up and gonna be able to walk away, the Vel'Koz, but with this to the skin of his teeth, and Tristana's pushing up tap turrets.
Yeah, and Phantom X not having a good game right now.
Absolutely, and looks like Sejuani's gonna be coming in for an engage. Almost got her full proc. Morgult comes out. He's not gonna be able to get the root. Tristana gets blown up by the Echo. Morgana gets hooked and flayed in, and she's dead. 2 kills, C2.
Yeah, great patience from C2. C2 playing really strong mechanically in these team fights, playing it out really well. They waited out the Black Foot before the stun came down. Poison Lynch couldn't really survive long to the damage out went down. That was really well played for them. But macro-wise right now, we're not seeing the team fights that we're expecting from a composition with a Sejuani, with an Ashe, with an Echo. Even Bresta, they're just sort of getting tricks, which is definitely working for them here. They might get it wrong.
Absolutely. It looks like Echo's going to be looking for that J4 a little bit, but he's smart enough to just get out of there. They're going to be burning down this Baron pretty soon here, and that's going to be putting the enemy team on quite the back foot.
Yeah, DovN Nightfall losing control of Vision here. They have barely any wards down anywhere, so they suspected Baron was being taken, but they have no vision, not even close anywhere to there. On the other hand, you take a look at what C2 has here for vision, and they lit that place up like a Christmas tree. There's vision everywhere around Baron, so they knew that they were safe to take it 100%.
Absolutely. And it's just the map is getting smaller and darker for DovN Nightfall as the game continues. They have that one ward, it looks like, in topside jungle that just timed out. But other than that, the farthest ward they have forward is in their topside jungle now, towards that Baron pit. It's just it's scary word for DovN Nightfall.
Yeah, and it's such a big difference from what we saw in the early game. We saw DovN Nightfall early, winning out really strongly, especially in that bot lane. But now all of a sudden, it's 100% C2 in the driver's seat. They're the ones dictating the pace of the game, saying where the fight should be occurring, you know, and they're ahead in almost every lane now.
Okay, this Thresh misses a hook, but the Dark Shield's also there in case he would have hit it.
Yeah, and they can siege this up easy. They have the Baron buff as well. They have the Shen with the Stand United to split push. So, yeah, this sort of situation is exactly what they want.
Absolutely, and they look like they have 5 members poised to do kind of a turret dive here. Sejuani looking for a Q onto there, but the Jarvan ult is going to come out. He's going to cancel it immediately. Mordekaiser's on the back line, trying to find what he can. Gets the Sejuani, gets her, but he's not going to be able to live through the Ashe damage. Jarvan's going to be able to get out, and the root onto the Ashe. Ashe is going to take a couple turret shots. He's going to die. Thresh is going to be at low. He's going to try to keep the Tristana CC'd, but he's not going to be enough. Shen's going to be in the fight. He's going to be looking for the Tristana, but the passive is going to prevent her from autoing. Shen's going to be looking for the Jarvan. He's going to finish him off. Vel'Koz finishes him off. Vel'Koz is looking for the Echo, but he's looking for the Morgana. Not going to find anything. It looks like, 3 for 2 or 4 for 2 C2 DovN Nightfall.
And again, that's a very awkward, as you said, fight for both teams there. You had both the top laners flanking behind the enemy team. XX Wolf reaching that fight sooner, but then they're the ones diving under turret, so that's a 5v5 under turret, not in favor of them, and yet they still come out ahead. Or not exactly ahead, they lose 4 for 3, but still, like, it's very even considering they initiated that under a turret. And yeah, it's awkward because both teams need to figure out what they want to do right now. It just feels like they're smashing into each other every time there's not a major objective up on the map for them to take. That being said, there is a major objective coming up in about 5 seconds. That's going to be Infernal Soul if C2 can get their hands on it.
Absolutely, and it looks like they're setting up vision around it right now as DovN Nightfall just tries to clear their jungle out, maybe get a little bit more stronger, give a blue buff over to the Vel'Koz, make sure he doesn't run out of mana in that fight. It looks like they're already starting up Infernal Dragon. DovN Nightfall's got to respond right now if they want to be a potential contest the soul, and Gunth looks like he's going to be trying to properly, but the stun onto the Tristana from the Astral just blows her up. That's all the damage. Vel'Koz ult's going to do a lot of damage onto the Thresh, blowing him up, but it looks like there's just nothing they can do. 2 kills for DovN Nightfall so far. Gunth is going to get blown up on the side from the Sejuani, and she's going to be looking for the Mordekaiser as well as the Morgana. She finds the Mordekaiser, gets the stun, triple kill for the Sejuani. Mohawk Gaming showing why he was the biggest carry on the last game.
Yeah, that was huge, but I think the MVP of that fight was Phantom X. In the back, that laser beam managed to steal the Infernal Drake, stopping the soul, and he also did a crap ton of damage to everybody. Picked up the 2 kills on the bot laners as well. So for all that, Phantom X has been struggling in lane, in team fights. This Vel'Koz pick is showing its strength.
Absolutely. And looks like the Vel'Koz picks might be showing a little bit too much here, as he's going to be caught out by the Sejuani, who's just going to walk under turret and kill him.
Yeah, Phantom X, you can't praise the man. You praise him and it instantly shows why we were concerned about him previously. I mean, yeah, he's great in team fights, but his positioning out of team fights right now leaves a little to be desired there. So they will end up losing that mid lane turret, but that's not the worst so far. They are down about 5,500 gold, almost 6,000 gold right now, but they're definitely still in the game, fighting back, and the kill score absolutely massive this game.
Sejuani going to steal away the red buff. Morgana looking for the Dark Binding, doesn't quite hit it as the sniper walks away from the kill.
Yeah, good Brasco there to get Mohawk to safety, and Baron will be coming out about a minute, so I'm expecting sometime before the next minute we're going to see the 2 teams clash again, either 5v5 or someone's going to get picked, because that seems to be the story of this match right now. No major objective, look for a fight, and it shows in the kill score, 30-20 the kill score at 27 minutes right now. That's more than a kill a minute for the side of C2 here, almost going to hit that 2 kills per minute mark that we've seen in some of the bloodthirstiest games of Coalition Week this split.
Absolutely. And what's the way for DovN Nightfall to kind of like get back into this game? I know we have the Tristana is really fed, but it seems to me, and it actually looks like DovN Nightfall is just going to take advantage of a disconnect here as Shen just reconnects right at the end of that and dies for his poor PC performance.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but it is what it is, unfortunate. And that's what they kind of need to do. Not take advantage of a DC, but find the isolated picks there. Because right now, it looks like on... Actually, it's actually...
Donna's going to be looking onto the E. She's going to bounce onto there, but the root is going to seal the deal for Crike, and she could not get away from the sniper that is Web Hippo. Yeah, man, the myth, the legend.
And as I was saying, they need to basically find these isolated picks, because on the side of C2, they're not taking advantage of that 5-man comp. They're not usually grouping together. We saw them try it a couple of times and they ended up diving a turret, feeding things over. This, however, is not, I don't think, the way to come back. This is very risky right now. They're starting it up. They are doing a lot of damage, so the Blade of the Moon King is good, but if C2 shows up right now, this fight's going to turn real bad real fast.
It is going to be a 5v5 here, because the Shed does have ulti. There's a little bit of a weird one, but Echo's going to be going into the back line, trying to find the Vel'Koz. He's not quite able to do it. The taunted Tristana, though, is going to be found, and she's going to die. Jarvan locking up 2 people, finding the Morgana, and looks like Mordekaiser is going to be trying to run away against the Shen, but the Shen is just too fast. Mordekaiser is going to be trying to lead them on a little bit of a chase here through the turrets. Maybe trying to give up the kill to Morgana, or Thresh rather, to the Shen, and it just looks like he just gets cleaned up under tower.
Yeah, so good that Jovi picked up the Baron, but unfortunately, I think this is going to cost him the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just they're too strong. They could dive him under tower. Level 17 for the Echo. It's just they're way too strong at this point, and the death timers are just too long. All they got to do is walk down mid, and crucially, Kraken actually was able to survive there, and they're going to walk out, which is a little bit strange.
Yeah, they don't have the Baron buff, and the people are starting to come up on the side of DovN Nightfall here. It's just Kraken Mohawk and Spenlow, so they're having a little risky staying in that lane. They want to regroup with the rest of the team here for that safety. But yeah, DOV and Nightfall going for that Baron, I think maybe a bit of a panic call. It was too risky. They didn't have enough damage. They have taken a lot of damage from that Baron. So as soon as C2 shows up, they don't win that in any way. Even if they get Baron, they will lose a lot of players, and that's exactly what we saw there, allowing C2 to get turrets, even though they're the ones who lost Baron. DOV needs to be more patient here. They need to let C2 make the mistakes, and C2 has shown a lot of willingness to make those mistakes if you give them the space to do so. So
absolutely, and we may see one of those mistakes here again. The fight for the Infernal Dragon, who's coming up in 3 seconds, as both teams kind of go towards that fight that may be happening here in a few seconds.
yeah, and again, same situation here, right? It's going to be Soul Drake for C2 if they can get their hands on it.
Absolutely, and it looks like DOV actually has the juxtaposition on it first. They're just going to burn it down. It looks like they don't even get a chance to try to contest that. What was that? They just kind of let them get it, and Echo goes onto the Vel'Koz, and Morgana's just going to bind and get out of there. Here's the TP from the Mordekaiser, who just gets out, and yeah, they're able to wake away. DOV wins that engage.
Yeah, really good TP from lower bases to keep himself alive there. He dies any other way, but they didn't have to see some Dark. But Phantom
it looks like Vel'Koz actually gets caught up a little bit, but the Dark Shield's going to be able to save him. The J4 ult coming out for the Wild Goose Case, who's going to have to ult to get out of there. Vel'Koz ult's going to come out for almost no reason, as there is no one in range for it at the time. A little bit of an odd one, but that's okay. They still keep everybody alive and still got the Infernal Dragon, so win-win.
Yeah, and they did a really good job starting that Infernal right away. It's not the Baron, it's not as tanky, it doesn't take as long. They have the Blade of the Rune King on that Tristana, they have the steroid boost from her Q, they've got the Zero Runons, so they can shred it really fast, and that was exactly what they did, but they do have to survive.
Mordekaiser ease onto the Sejuani, who has to Q out. Thresh dropped his lantern, trying to see if he could maybe help anyone get out who was a little bit too far forward. Echo looking in the side lane, trying to push it out. It's a 4-man push on the right side, and it's just still landing the bindings just through the minions. It's insane.
Yeah, but it's not going to be enough by itself right now.
Absolutely, they're just going to walk at this turret and burn it down. Sejuani's going in onto the what appears to be the J4, and it looks like Wolf's onto the there, but Vel'Koz not able to catch him. Ashel onto the Morgana, keeps her from using the Dark Shield. Sejuani's burning down though. Mordekaiser's ulted the Thresh, trying to get him out of the fight. He's not quite able to do it. Thresh able to knock him around a little bit too much and lead him around. J4 is dead. Vel'Koz ult comes back up, looking for a little bit of more kill. Tristana's able to clean up the Thresh, jumps onto the Pryken, and it doesn't look like he's going to live either. Double kill for Tristana. And DOV Nightfall loses an inhib, but they get 2 kills.
Yeah, and you can see that DOV still can fire back. Like, this is what DOV needs to do. They need to sort of let C2 push into them. Now, granted, they did lose an inhibitor here, but they did manage to keep their Nexus turrets. That's the important thing right now. The inhibitors will respawn, and letting the inhibitors push into them is okay at this point in time. They need to do it. But they do need to keep Phantom X and Poison Lynch alive. They won that fight because Poison Lynch could just free fire. Nobody managed to quite get onto Poison Lynch there. And Phantom X too. That laser needed to come out sooner. But they do have the damage. They can turn these fights. And that's exactly what they need to do. The next objective coming up will be burned in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. They just need to make sure C2 doesn't do it. They don't need to take it themselves. They just need to make sure it doesn't get taken. And then they get one more Infernal Drake and suddenly they're back in the game.
Yeah, almost every one of these fights that the DOV loses is because either the Tristana gets taunted by the Shen or Ashe ulted or even Sejuani ulted. She just needs to play a little bit more carefully, work on her positioning, and DOV might just have a shot at this game.
Yeah, and one thing is also the compositional mismatch a little bit here on the side of C2. They want that 5v5. They want to have just 2 groups of 5v5 running at each other on the side of DOV Nightfall. They don't. They want a chaotic, messy fight where Vel'Koz is the only one they need a peel for. Tristana has enough self-peel that you can let Poison Lynch just hop around the battlefield, getting into the right position to free fire, can bust their shot to reposition as well. The flash was used in the last fight, so will not be available for the next fight, but that's what they want. And on the other hand, again, C2 not quite executing perfectly on their team compositions. They're not getting the engages they want. That being said, this top lane, if DOV doesn't respond, they're going to lose a lot.
Absolutely. I'm just watching this Ashe arrow that's going to come out, and it looks like Sejuani's going to be going under the Morgana, who's going to just Dark Shield herself to try to get out. Shen ult going onto this Sejuani, maybe looking for a little bit of more engage, but it's only onto one person. They weren't able to find it. And that's 3 inhibitors actually for the side of C2, and they're actually able to hook this the Morgana, who's going to have to stopwatch immediately. Vel'Koz ult comes out, burning a little bit down, but they're not going to be able to do enough damage. Morgana's super low, as well as J4, who's going to be able to pick up a kill on the Thresh, who was able to get melted by the Tristana. Mordekaiser gets 2 people with his E, but the stun is going to come out for the Sejuani here in a second, but he just isn't enough damage. Shen does too much percentage health math damage, and Ash is just going to get the last inhibitor here for C2.
Yeah, that was really a fight that could have gone either way. It ends up being in favor of C2 1-2 here, but it's really, really, really close. Poison Lynch outputting tons of damage, and Phantom X managed to stay alive long enough.
A nice backstop there on the path of Vel'Koz. Sejuani looking for maybe a little bit of harassment with the Tristana, trying to deter her from getting his carry, but it looks like he's going to just lose his life here, but the Q away is able to save him. But Kraken is a little way out of position. She's going to lose her life to the Tristana, who's just going to eat her up with the Black Shield on.
Yeah, right now, Poison Lynch is probably the most dangerous person in a 1v1 anywhere on the map right now. Only Wild Goose Chase is going to have a chance of taking down in the 1v1. That's just because it's an assassin versus an ADC. And at this point in the game, 35, almost 36 minutes into the game, we're starting to see a couple of people full build almost here. Wild Goose Chase almost full build, just holding a slot for the pink boards. Poison Lynch also is almost full build, and that's going to be
sold. It looks like they're just going to give up Infernal Dragon, not even a slight contest there. A little bit of a miscall maybe from the side of DOV. Maybe they should have said maybe 1 or 2 members, but the super minions are pushing into the base. So good homework by C2, who's going to walk towards Baron, it looks like.
Yeah, and they needed to have Poison Lynch defending the base, clearing out those minions along with Phantom X, send Gun in to try and contest that dragon, because right now everybody's had to fall back, and that's going to be free Baron over with an Infernal Soul. The damage that Kraken and Wild Goose Chase are going to be able to put out now is going to hurt that much more, and that burst might be just what they need to take Phantom X and Poison Lynch down. They've got double supers in every lane. With that Baron buff, well, DOV Nightfall is going to have their hands full trying to stop this push.
Absolutely. I mean, it looks like C2 are not even going to back. They're just going to go ahead and go down that either in that mid wave and that top wave. The Shen having ult available, so in case a team fight breaks out on his team, and it looks like they're just going to usher the minions in and, you know, put the Nexus turret to sleep.
Yeah, and the Nexus turrets are already very low right now too. So
Gun's looking for a little bit of engage, trying to get them off the wave so that he has to get off the. But he finds the Sejuani, which is not the target you're really looking for. But they're just going to isolate her and burn her down. Free kill for DOV Nightfall. And looks like Mordekaiser is trying to beat Kraken, maybe a little bit more than he can chew, considering that's a fed Ash late game. But you know, I can't knock the guy for trying.
That's a very odd trade. Not sure it was necessary, but.
Absolutely, and it looks like Wild Goose Chase is going to be trying to get onto the Vel'Koz. Actually gets knocked all the way back to Fountain, just blown immediately up, and it looks like Thresh is just boxing nothing. But watch Poison Lynch. Is he getting the damage off? He's blowing up Spenlaw. He's going to be able to burn the Thresh. Will he find more? Flash out from Kraken. And here's Poison Lynch. He's going to blow up the Shen. The Shen passive is going to be able to grow, but he's going to blow him up. And then the jump from Kraken's going to follow too. And that's an ace for DOV Nightfall, who's able to hold on just the skin of their teeth here in this best of 5, or this best of 1.
And that, like, C2, they didn't need to fight that. They just needed to stall. You can see the minions almost took the Nexus by themselves there, because C2 certainly didn't get the damage onto the Nexus. They were forced out really early there. So they just needed to stick around. That Baron buff would have done the job for them. Instead, they decided to pick a fight they didn't need to pick. Poison Lynch and Syrakan both doing massive damage in that fight, but ultimately, with the Runan's Hurricane, Poison Lynch able to hit multiple targets. Syrakan had to pick the targets, and a beautiful stopwatch from Web Hippo to deny Syrakan the healing and the kills that she needed to keep on going there.
Absolutely, and it's I'm surprised to see that they just didn't usher the minions in. It seems like all they had to do was kind of just wait for them to kill the turrets and then maybe fight. You know, even if you take a bad fight, you still get the Nexus in the end. A little bit of a head scratcher there for on the side of C2, but it almost doesn't matter, as they still have 2 super minions pressing in every wave.
Yeah, and by the time C2 comes in here, they have to speed it up. The inhibitors might be respawning not too long from now. And once the inhibitors respawn, suddenly it's a very different game. Right now, DOV Nightfall still very far on the back foot, unable to really push up. But the inhibitors respawn. We've seen DOV win the last couple of fights, so suddenly C2 has a problem in terms of trying to push in there. And if DOV can get out of their base and help start contesting these objectives, if they get Baron at this point in the game, they get an ace, they can win the game.
Absolutely, and you could see from that last fight, you know, there's so much more gold on the side of DOV Nightfall. It's 72k to 73k, and even in late in this game, that amount of gold almost doesn't matter. But it's a substantial amount. Like you have full items on the side of Tristana, who's here it looks like the J4 is going to be going onto the Wild Goose Chase, which is going to eat away. A little bit of a waste of an ult there, but he's going to start a death sentence in there. And it looks like they just blow up the Tristana, who's way too far forward. What was she doing there? She didn't have W or anything. She W'd into her death. Mordecai is going to be on the back foot here. It looks like it's just dead to rights. He's going to ult the Sejuani, trying to 1v1 her, but it doesn't matter. They're just going to take the Nexus while he's in his ult, and that's GG, C2.
And that was a game of inches right there, right down to the wire, and suddenly Gunth and Poison Lynch just throwing that so hard. That engage left Gunth so far ahead that the only person who could join him was Poison Lynch, and you don't want Poison Lynch there without the protection of the rest of the team. Ultimately,
Absolutely.
that just cost them the game.
Absolutely. It looks like Poison Lynch and Gunth were kind of on their own little side mission to 2v5 the world there. A little bit an interesting call, but you know, it was a good season all around. A good play by Poison Lynch from that in that early game, really turning around a lot of kills in that early lane. So kudos to him, doing super well.
Yeah, and with that there, that does end the season here for these 4 teams at the bottom here. So that will mean that C2 will take 5th place, DOV Nightfall 6th place, 7th place is going to go to Vengeful Reapers, and 8th place to Pendulum Gaming here. So their season does end here, but on the other hand, we aren't quite done the entire season yet. There is still the finals next week, and that will be between MG Blaze and Raw Rampage. So a rematch of the top 2 teams in the league next week, and it will be another best of 5. So we hope all of you guys join us there next week. And from everyone here at Coalition League, thank you for tuning in this week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Really, signing off Furball, signing off Random Minicaster.